Just from,
Yeah.
like here up.
Waist up.
All right, let me balance and
We got
Go.
it on video.
yeah.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another issue of Cruising with the Ryans. Today, we're very excited to have our cruise director from the Grandeur of the Seas, Bill, with us. Bill, welcome, and thank you for taking time. Today, you've had a busy day already.
It's my pleasure.
All the
Doreen.
things
I'm
that
happy
you've
to do it.
already done, and it's just around noontime, and
Thank
I know you have more to go.
Yeah.
But tell us a little bit about your background and how you came to be the cruise director on this
Sure.
lovely ship.
Sure. Okay, I'm originally from New Jersey, about 2 miles from Giants Stadium. Go Giants, or go Jets. And 20 minutes outside of Manhattan. And when I was a kid, I was 13, my sister was 11. My parents, they were social dancers, ballroom dancers. They liked to go out to a
fun.
dance studio
Yeah.
on a Saturday night or Friday night. They went to this one dance studio and they saw these kids had just come back from a junior competition with trophies. And my father and mother said, hey, this would be a great idea for Bill and his sister Elaine. So they told us about it, and we both looked at them like they were crazy. And the next, we were going down to Newark taking ballroom dance lessons.
Wow.
Which, at first we didn't really care for it too much until we went into our first junior competition, and we won first prize, and we got these big trophies. And my sister and I looked at each other and said, hey, this ballroom dancing is pretty good. Well, we went on to become 5 times junior national champions. And then as we went into the adult category about that time, we won a big competition in Madison Square Garden, and then we turned professional. Now that was in the style of ballroom dancing we call American style. Around that time, another style was coming in called the English style or the international style, which is what you see in the competitions on television. So we started to train in that, but I changed sisters. That was my younger sister I was dancing with when I was a kid. I changed to my older sister, and we did very well. We were placing in the top 6 in the country. However, in those days, there was no money in ballroom dancing. So my sister, this is way before the time of Dancing with the Stars. And so my sister got the idea to go on a cruise ship. So we went on a cruise ship. It worked out very well for her. She got married to one of the officers, like an episode out of The Love Boat. And me, I really enjoyed the work. I loved traveling, meeting new people, and also I was getting promoted. I was going from cruise staff, back then they call it cruise staff, to sports supervisor, to assistant cruise director. Back then that's what they called the activities manager.
Right.
And then on to cruise director, because the best parts about this cruise industry and this cruise job is that not only are you traveling, you're meeting people, it's a lot of fun doing all the activities and the entertainment and everything else, but also it's a very short commute to work in the morning, and all you can eat, and that's really important too. So anyway,
You're funny, Bill.
but I've been with Royal Caribbean, always with Royal Caribbean. I started in 1984, so I just celebrated 39 years on December 2nd with Royal Caribbean.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I was promoted to cruise director in April 15th, 1988. Who can ever forget that date, April 15th, huh?
Right.
So 1988, so I've been cruise director for 35 years now too.
That's
and it's been a
amazing.
blast.
I know we've
it's no
cruised
time.
with you before.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's always
Tell us about how many different ships you've been on.
Well,
Which ones?
Well, I started out on our original Royal Caribbean ships that were built way back in the early 1970s. I started out on the Nordic Prince, and then from there.
Yeah, that was
you
our
remember the
first
Nordic
ship.
Prince, right?
That was our first cruise. Was the Nordic Prince,
Yeah.
1980.
Oh wow!
February
Okay, so you predate me even.
Yeah.
I
It was
didn't get
before
there
they
till
cut it in
December
half.
2nd, 84.
It was the last
Yeah.
cruise before it went back to Norway to be sawed in half
Oh
And
yes,
extended.
and
that's
added
right.
on to.
Yep. So I was only on there for a few months. My sister, she originally got me the job, and then she was getting married to one of the Norwegian officers. So of course we had to go off for the wedding, and then I was waiting at home for a contract, and I got it on the Sun Viking. So the Sun Viking was the original size, 750 guests. It was never stretched. And I spent the next 5 years on the Sun Viking, working my way up through the ranks from cruise staff to, as I said, sports, and then assistant cruise director and cruise director in 1988. And then I started to go to the other ships, the Song of Norway, the Song of America in '92 out on the West Coast. And then onto and then it was up. Then they said, okay, we're going to go up to Alaska now. So I was up in Alaska. We do the California run from LA down to Mexican Riviera in the wintertime, and in the summer we'd go up to Alaska and I did that from 93 until 97, and then 97 I joined the Legend, and then we did the Royal Journeys around the world back then. So Serenade of the Seas is not the first to do around the world. We did it way back it's starting in 1999 on the Legend of the Seas, and back then we called it the Royal Journeys, and where we went around the world. And then 9/11 happened. We couldn't go through the Suez Canal, so they had to reposition the ship all the way around Africa for 3 weeks, and we rejoined the ship in Port Klang in Indonesia. And after that, we started to do that run from Australia, New Zealand in the wintertime, Tahiti and a couple Hawaiis, and then up to Alaska in the summer, and then you reverse all the way down. So that we were doing that for a while. And then after that, I was on the Brilliance doing the Mediterranean seasons, and then on the Splendid, again doing the Mediterranean seasons. And then that was a great ship because I would get off for the winter because the ship would relocate to Brazil for Brazilian guests. Yeah. So we had Brazilian cruise directors. That's how Michele and Talita, that's how they got their first start, was way back then. And there was another cruise director, Leo Papa and Joao Wolf, and they're not with us anymore. And then I was on the Splendor from 2009 up until almost until they sold it in 2016, and we're doing Dubai back then. And then I was on the Vision doing Dubai, and then of course on the Rhapsody right up until the pandemic started. And then I was off for a year and 7 months during pandemic. It was a long vacation. But it was. Did you do anything back at home during that time? Just relaxed, and then when things started to open up, I started to do some traveling. A little more dancing, or no? Unfortunately, our dancing days are well behind us. However, my sister is, this being the Christmas cruise, my older sister is with me now, and we do like to just social dancing nowadays. Nothing too athletic, not like this tango couple that we have.
Aren't they
Tango
amazing?
Buenos Aires show, absolutely fantastic. I mean,
this is maybe really our fifth time
incredible.
On the ship within the last year or so, and we've seen them several times, and they are just amazing. I don't know how they do it.
It's like that violin player and the guitar player.
Yes, our string duo.
They just fascinated me. The first time I saw them, whenever they're entertaining, I try to go sit and at least watch them a while. They can make those musical instruments sing. Sure. Honestly, I'm a musician. I play keyboards, and I just, oh my God.
Well, you have a huge job. How many people are under you? Well,
depending on the ship. So on this ship, the Grandeur, we have about 75 people, including, the cruise director staff. Now they're called Entertainment Activities Team. The youth staff, we have the stage and production team, the broadcast team, the singers, the dancers, all the bands, the orchestra, and the our guest entertainers. So that's all in the division that I had. Luckily, I had some great managers that are looking after a lot of these folks, so it makes the job a lot easier as well. And so I've been on the Grandeur. I just came here. This was kind of a surprise for me to be here. After the pandemic, I was on the Serenade and then the Navigator out in LA, and then I came back to the Rhapsody. I was there for a year. That's when we went to Haifa. We did the Haifa season a year ago. I did a couple of months of that, and then when we went back this year in May, I got off just as we got to Haifa. and Michelle, the other cruise director, she took over,
Yeah.
and unfortunately they had to close down operations. But it was a rescue ship to take Americans out of Haifa
that area.
over to Cyprus. Yeah, so that was a great thing to happen. And then I went to the Voyager this past summer, which was great, Galveston, and great crowd out of Galveston. And now here out of Miami on the Grandeur, and great crowd here too. Really nice people.
How
And
much
it's been a
longer
lot of
will you
fun.
be on the Grandeur?
I'm going to stay here till January 24th, and then I'll be off. And then I haven't received my dates for next year. We're still waiting on that's still being finalized. We should be finding that out in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah,
or
you
so.
never know, right?
Yeah, sure.
It'll always be fun.
Oh,
And you get
gosh,
to see
yeah.
so many different places
Yes.
that the ships visit. I think some people in your position like to stay with the same ship and
Yes.
sail out of the same place.
Sure.
But I think there are advantages to that depending on how you like the travel aspect of it. But when you go to all these different parts of the world and get a chance to see so many different places, that's a job I would envy. I love what I do in supply chain and travel to see customers, but never have that opportunity to go to Bali or Tahiti or whatever, so I have the cruise to do.
Yes, of course, sure. Supply chain management, that's my niece she's studying, she actually works for nuts.com, and that's what she does. Yeah, so it's really nice.
Yeah.
So it's been it's really been a pleasure working. The Grandeur is such a friendly ship. I mean, everybody, even they didn't know who I was. I was doing a handover with the other cruise director, Talita, and the people, even polishing the handrails, would stop and say, "Hello, sir. How are you?"
Yeah,
They didn't know
yeah.
who I was even
It's
at
amazing.
that time. Yeah,
It's
No, it's
amazing.
really
Well,
nice
and that
ship.
ongoing maintenance is another thing that's wonderful.
Yes.
From,
Absolutely. And they'll be
cruising
going
with Royal
into
Caribbean is a wonderful opportunity.
absolutely.
But
Yeah.
I think we've taken up a whole lot of your time already today, and we really appreciate everything that you've done.
Oh, it's my pleasure,
So,
Noreen.
I want to tell everybody to remember to subscribe to our channel, and maybe you can ask them to subscribe to Cruising with the Ryans for us.
Yes, of course. By all means, subscribe to Cruising with the Ryans. They're wonderful people. I got to meet them on this cruise, and you can't go wrong. You'll enjoy it. And of course, the YouTube channel here. That's very nice interviews as well.
Thank you so much, Bill. We
Thank
really
you, Noreen.
appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Dennis. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah, have a great day.
Keep on cruising.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely. Remember, smooth sailing and a safe vacation.